Hey there, today I'm doing a review of this set of St. Petersburg White Night paints. So here you can see this little box that this set comes in. It's not a metal tin as the other sets that I've tried. It's a plastic box, and here you can see all the colors and the swatches that I already did. And I think that the colors don't even look that pretty in the set itself, but they look really awesome once you swatch them. So here you can see that I did some swatches on this page before I started to do some small paintings with those paints. And I was expecting this set to be a very good beginner set because of the color selection. We have a really good color selection for a starter set because we have a warmer and cooler yellow tone, a warmer and cooler red tone. The same goes with the blue and the greens. We also have two brown tones, this kind of ochre tone, as well as a very cool black color. So it's like a really dark cool gray tone or a black color. I really love the color selection. It's amazing for a small set. You have all the colors that you need, so you can mix all colors that you want. I personally really love purple and turquoise. I hope I say that correctly. So I would have loved to have seen them in a set, but they're never in those smaller sets because you can mix them quite easily. And since those paints are really pigmented, it's really no problem to mix them. I really love the color selection here, and they're almost not opaque at all. So they're really transparent. I think that they have great quality, and you can see that in the swatches already. And what most stands out with them is that they're incredibly pigmented. So here you can see that I started to paint something, and I really wanted to do an axolotl because I've really wanted to paint one of these for a long time now, and I've never really gotten the chance to do so. So this day was the day that I finally did it, and I tried to keep the colors as light as possible, but they're just so pigmented. You have to use so much water, or I don't know, I just used a lot of water to keep them a little bit lighter, a little bit more pastel toned at first, but the piece gets really pigmented really fast because those paints are incredibly pigmented. And like I said at first, I thought that this would be a really great set for beginners, but I'm just not so sure about it anymore since those are so incredibly pigmented. And usually that's a really good thing. I mean, it can't be a bad thing that colors aren't pigmented, right? But it's actually quite hard to use them because of that, or at least I had to get used to using them because I'm not used to that much pigment. I mean, I've used really high-end watercolors before, and I've been using watercolors for a while now, but this is just another level. If you really love bold colors and lots of saturation, this is the paint for you. I don't think that there could be anything out there that could be even more pigmented because this is just, I don't know, it's really its own thing. I don't know if I love it or if I hate it. I somehow really love it, but it's also really hard to control. You really have to be careful not to go overboard with them, and you can see here that I used a lot of water with them, so obviously my colors bled into each other, and I personally really don't mind that because I think that this is the charm of watercolors. It's I don't know, it's really what watercolors do, and I think that it looks really cute when everything bleeds together a little bit. And obviously, you can paint in a way that the paints don't do that. That's just my personal choice. But I think if you want to do that, those are probably really good paints for that because when you use a lot of water, obviously it take some time for the water to dry, and then everything will bleed together when it's not dry yet. So obviously that's the way that I use them here. You can see that I started this little fish on the left page, and I really used that pigment to my advantage. The blue one isn't as pigmented, the lighter blue tone, but the others really are. You can see here the red tones that they bled with everything. And I think that for effects like these, they're amazing, really. And I've also heard that they're actually really light fast. So I mean, I haven't researched that a lot, so I don't know how light fast they are, but they're probably better than any beginner's set that's student grade or something like that. And I don't know, since they're so pigmented, feel like they're really high end if they're also light fast, but they're just a bit harder to use if you want to get lighter tones. If you love pastel colors, these are really not the paints for you, because I think that it's really hard to get lighter tones. You have to water them down a lot. But I don't know, I really had a lot of fun using them. It was really a blast, and I didn't only paint those two pieces. Since then, I've also painted a few other pages because I've already recorded the next video, which will be a watercolor ideas video again, and I've done all the watercolor ideas for the next video with those paints, and I've enjoyed them a lot actually. I'm kind of scared to go back to other paints again because they're not as pigmented, but I mean, it's just personal preference. It depends on what you want, and for me personally, it also depends on what I want on that specific day. Am I feeling like bold colors and lots of saturation? Then those are the perfect paints. If I want something that's a bit more pastel and not as bold, those are not the paints. I also got them to do plein air sketching because it's a smaller set. Obviously the white nights come in bigger sets as well, but this specific set would be really great to do some outdoor painting because it's not as big. And yeah, I think that it would be a really great set for that. I haven't used it for that yet, but I think that it would be great. The only issue that I see with that is that I tend to use those paints with a lot of water. And if you are on the go and you have a lot of water on your paper, you will have to wait forever to let it dry. So maybe just in summer when it's hot and your paint dries quickly. I don't know yet. The only issue that I personally have with the box so far is that you don't have a lot of mixing space, and since the colors are so pigmented, I really need that mixing space just to get them a little bit more desaturated, not only to mix the colors but also just to put the color on there and add a lot of water just so it is not as saturated all the time, because you don't want the bold colors from beginning to end. Typically with watercolors you want to start with lighter tones and then build up your tones as you go along. So yeah, I've seen that the other White Night sets, the bigger ones, actually I think they don't have mixing space at all, so you'd need an additional palette to do that on. But yeah, I really love the paint itself. I think that I will probably use them up at some point because they already have little dents in them, because they reactivate with water a lot and you lift up so much paint and you use up so much paint so quickly, even though it's super pigmented. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just the way that I'm using them, but I've seen that they are super soft. They reactivate with the water like, I don't know, they're like butter. They're so soft. It's actually quite amazing. It's really, really fun to use them once you get used to them. And if you like those bold colors, you really have to be the type of person who loves those colors. But if you are, oh my god, get them. Really buy them. I can't say anything bad about them. They are really amazing. I had so much fun with them so far. And if I ever use up that set, I'm probably gonna buy a bigger one because I love those colors. And they have so many other amazing colors. Here you can see that I added in a few little details with a white gel pen. And I think that this really makes those pieces pop. I really love those two pieces. I'm so happy with those results. I think that I might put them on stickers or prints or something like that eventually because I really love how those two came out. You can see the colors are so vibrant. All the products will be linked down below. I really hope that you liked this video, and if you did so, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel, and until next time, goodbye.